Welcome to Just Relationships, the show that offers you concrete ways to make your relationships better. Whether it's your boss, your spouse, your children, or your friends, the quality of your relationships in life directly affects how you feel about yourself and the success you achieve. Your host, Dr. Duffy Spencer, a psychotherapist, telecoach, author, and seminar leader, will interview top experts to help you learn to manage this essential part of your life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Duffy Spencer.
Greetings to you. Are you enough? Do you believe that you're enough? Do you believe that you have enough? Many people, no matter where they are in life, do not believe they are enough. And they feel inadequate. It seems to be part of the conditioning that we receive in our culture. And we are looking today to really cut through this myth. And I am very happy to have back as my guest Elizabeth Trinkaus, who is the author of Enough Already. Yes, you are. A step-by-step guide to crushing the myth that if you do just one more thing, you will finally be enough. Welcome back, Elizabeth.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here, Dr. Duffy. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, you're so welcome. So can you give us an example of when people come from a belief that they are not enough, they kind of take that as ground level zero, and then what do you say the average person thinks they have to do or be to be good enough or to be enough?
We have been so conditioned in our culture to think that we are not enough, to compare ourselves to others, and we only compare up, and to judge ourselves. It's really an epidemic. Mm-hmm. And it is so possible with tools to slow down enough to recognize what we're telling ourselves and really shift to this place where we are enough. I am so passionate about this subject. I call it a movement. Mm-hmm. You know, the not enough is an epidemic that we all suffer from. Mm-hmm. And I am in this place of enough already movement with my book tour and retreats and speaking engagements. I actually started a podcast, Enough Already, Yes You Are, just to really shine the light on that you are not alone thinking you're not enough. So many clients have felt that they're alone, and then they go to that hiding place, shame place, pretending place.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly,
yes.
Which makes it much worse. I'm not going to tell you that I believe I'm not enough, because that will make it much worse. And yet, how liberating if everyone just took off that persona, that mask, and said, and this is my language from my internal family systems model that I was explaining in the last show, that we all have parts, we all have a higher self, and we all have parts. So even if you shift the language to, there is a part of me that believes it's not enough. That's a major, very profound shift in my view.
Yes, and the idea that we have all been conditioned this way has been so freeing for my clients, really getting, you know what, you are not alone, and we are here as part of a journey to learn and grow, and we are perfectly imperfect. There's no perfect. And to really let go of the notion that I'll be happy when I make blank amount of money, or lose blank pounds, or have this or do that. You know, all those things are wonderful goals. I am all about them. I help people achieve their goals. But to really bring our ownership, our happy back here to the present moment, and know that we are enough today brings so much more inspiration and creativity to achieve those dreams. And we get to be happy while we are achieving those dreams.
Yes. And I think, I want to just unpack that a bit, because it's what you're saying is so important. That yes, we have goals, we have meaning, we can choose meaning, we can choose purpose, we can choose intention, and that we can work toward those goals, yet at the same time not be married to those goals, so that as you say, I will be happy if, I will be happy when. So the idea is I move toward those goals, and I also can shift them if need be, but just being where I am in the moment is happiness providing. It's our precious life, our precious breath.
Yes. And owning that we are enough already, and it isn't something that you're going to achieve out there when you have and do more. And, that's a game that no one has ever won, that I'll be happy when. And it's such a great rewrite, because in our mind, if we're not paying attention, we're like, wow, I'll be happy when I get married, and then we get married. I'll be happy when I have kids, and then you have kids. I'll be happy when my kids go off to college, and kids go off to college, and just I'll be happy when I have grandchildren. And just noticing that. And again, there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. This is extremely strong cultural programming. And as you are doing what you're doing right now, every one of you slowing down enough, noticing what you're telling yourself, you have the power to shift that. And it's okay to want those things, to get married, have kids, grandkids. That's wonderful. But to really take the time to find your platform, if you will, of enough that really is there. Your beautiful essence and soul are really, really there. And the more you align with that and learn to love yourself, again, with all your perfect imperfections, it's such a lighter walk in life. It's so, you get to go on your journey with such a lighter pack on your back, and you walk with so much more joy and less fear of messing up or what are people saying. It really lowers anxiety, and that is such a gift that we can give ourselves.
Not only does it lower anxiety, it lowers risk aversion. And so many people are risk averse because they don't think that they have what it takes to deal with so-called failing, whatever that means. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't believe in failure. I believe if something doesn't work out, we're going to learn something from it, and then we get to say, hey, what's next, or how might I do that differently? But I do not believe in failure. And when we look back, there's all kinds of things that haven't worked out for every single one of us.
Oh, yes.
And we get to learn from them, and that brings so much more grace, again, to the journey. We still get to be driven and create and be goal-oriented, but the journey is so much more joyful, so much more full of grace, and so much less fearful.
Beautifully put. And in the last show, you used a term called amazing worth. And I just love it. I just love that term, because it is stellar, and we don't even realize, just so many of us, and I know for me, how precious we are. And I'm thinking of that song, Amazing Grace, written by a former slave owner, and saving a wretch like me. And we are not wretches. Many of us have trespassed. We have done wretchful things, mostly because of what you were saying in the last show, which was based upon my beliefs. I took certain actions that did not bode well for me or others in my world.
Yes, absolutely. And the more we love ourselves, the more we act differently, and we treat others differently also.
Yes.
And it is a learning process. I'm not pretending it's not, but I know that it really, really works. And the tools really work, and that's why I do what I do every single day. I watch people lower their fear levels, their anxiety. They live from their heart more. They live in more joy more. They trust more. They trust in their journey more. And that is just so satisfying. And I know you do the same, Dr. Duffy, with your clients, because it's so satisfying to watch people let go of old stories and write new ones.
Yes, absolutely. And if anyone is interested in knowing my calendar of events, where I am speaking, where I am teaching, where I am giving retreats, just go to drduffy.com. And I do offer classes at Nassau Community College, so drduffy.com. And yes, Elizabeth, tell people how to get in touch with you, please, and your book and your retreats.
Oh, thank you. You can go to lizretreats.com. There's a calendar page there. I'm doing a book tour. I have ongoing retreats all over the world. And it's, again, an opportunity to really, really slow down, take care of you. I do phone sessions globally also, so you can reach out, and we will know in one session if we're the right fit, and that's very, very important for me, because I want you to get what you need, and we will know. And the reason I say that is because I've been doing the work for 25 years, and it's always been true that we'll know if we are the right fit. And my joy is helping people move through blocks and limiting beliefs so they are really living a life that they love.
And are they telephone sessions? Do you use Skype at all? How do you do those phone sessions?
They are phone sessions, not Skype.
Yes, I actually do phone sessions myself, and everyone talks about Skype. I prefer meeting someone in person once. I can't always, and then I ask for a FaceTime a little bit or pictures. I personally find that it feels like there's a camera on me, and I actually find it is more confidential to use the telephone. It's kind of ironic, and I know it's not the norm these days, but that's why I thought to ask when you said phone sessions, because I find them enormously powerful, and people don't even realize just how powerful they can be.
They really are, and it is because the work that you and I are both doing, Dr. Duffy, is so internal.
Yes.
It allows people to go within, and when we're going within, we don't need to be looking at each other's faces or reading body language, and it is really powerful work. And I do guided visualizations with every session because it gets us out of our head where we're thinking the same thoughts over and over again. It gets us really in our body, because if we are going really fast, like most of us are programmed to do these days, then we can be not living in our bodies, and we can be not aware that our shoulders are up around our ears, or that we're not breathing into our hearts, or that our breaths are really short. So going within is so important, and the guided visualization has people going all the way to their feet, grounding their energy, wiggling their toes. And some people are just amazed at the simplicity of focusing on their feet, wiggling their toes, and going, oh my gosh, I have a body here.
Yes.
My breaths are deeper. I feel more grounded. And that's where we can begin to get to that place of that platform of enough, where you really are, because your soul already is. And then working with healing old stories and letting go of limiting beliefs and really rewriting new scripts for ourselves.
Beautiful. And, we must be sisters from another mister, because I do the same thing. And just the visuals, to start with a visualization, to start with focusing on the breath and feeling your feet flat on the floor and all of that, and dropping your shoulders. And even now,
Yes.
except if you're driving, folks, be a little careful of that.
Amen.
Right, but beyond that, it's most people do not live in their bodies. They are not embodied. Most people are not embodied, and we are taught as Americans, adults, that we should be living in our heads, our minds, and we cut off everything below our neck, except we visit our genitals once in a while. But for the most part, it's another conditioning. It's another way we have been taught. And when I teach people the language of the body, they look at me, and it's a new language for so many people. Well, what do you mean? What is my body telling me? And what is my body saying? And what are the messages from my body? So it's so rich. We can live our lives so much more richly. And even if our external circumstances don't change, it's really quite extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. And so often, as we change internally, our life changes around us. And you and I both know we can't change other people, and it's not about that. But so often, when my clients have shifted within themselves, people really shift around them, and they're like, wow, you're not going to believe this. This person is acting so differently here. And it happens a lot. And I don't want that to be the focus, hey, we're going to change you so they change. It's all about the individual, and we are responsible for ourselves, and we can only change ourselves. And that's good news, because we are the ones reminding ourselves of our worth. We don't want to be relying on anybody else to source that, if you will.
Yeah.
But so often people's circumstances really, really shift as they do this work and really, really get that they are enough, and you get to be perfectly imperfect, and it's a journey, and your happy isn't out there. You can be happy having things, doing things, absolutely, but you get to learn to be happy in the present moment, and it just, the colors of your journey become so much brighter.
Yes, and I'm thinking about Louise Hay's concept that she repeated and is still repeated in her literature over and over again, the point of power. The point of power is within ourselves, our power point. Our point of power is within ourselves, and what is our locus and focus, and again, what is the new thought pattern? What do we believe? I can be expansive. I can be multifaceted. I am already expansive. I am already multifaceted, and that's the power of affirmation, to own something in present time that we would like to have, and the power of the mind is such that we're going to go ahead and close that gap.
Yes. Affirmations are so, so key. I have my clients write an I am statement at the end of every session and walk with that. I am brave, even if they're not feeling brave, living into brave. Brave happens when we take action sometimes, but it doesn't mean you're not brave when you're not feeling it. And we're so programmed to if we're not feeling something, we don't think that we are that. An example is, I'm not feeling brave right now, so I don't think I'm brave. Or I'm not feeling confident, so I don't think I'm confident. And I remind my clients to really live into that just because you're not feeling brave doesn't mean you aren't brave. And to really walk with that. And the more you do, the more you feel it. Like before I walked into my group of retreaters the other day, I wasn't feeling brave, and I just noticed that. And I told myself, I am brave. I am here, and I showed up.
Yep.
And I went in, and I shared the tools. I loved them, and it wasn't about me. And I then felt my brave, but I didn't feel brave before I walked in, and I was just noting that. And just because I didn't feel brave didn't mean I was not brave, and that's true for you all too. So be careful with those thoughts. Don't obey all your thoughts. Just because you don't feel confident does not mean you're not confident. It may mean you may not be feeling it for right now for a lot of reasons, but own your confidence. And the feeling's gonna come and go with the waning and waxing of the moon and what we had to eat and how we slept. But own your brave. I am brave. I am confident. Walk with an affirmation every day. You're gonna really like it. Words are powerful.
Right. I love that, Elizabeth. Walk your affirmation. The idea of saying them, writing them, looking at them. But I love that. Walk your affirmation. And, of course, Susan Jeffers would say the courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway.
Yes.
And when she came out with her book, I was so delighted, and it was so right on, so on target, so true. And but she wrote the book, and I didn't. And you wrote the book enough already, and I didn't. Because I used to say, before Susan Jeffers' book came out, I used to say, I go with a lump in my throat, but I go.
Good. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so relatable to all of us.
Yeah.
It really is. Show up. You get to show up.
Just keep showing up.
Show up. Take action. And you're going to feel those things you want to feel. But don't obey those feelings, because so often they'll keep you where you were yesterday. So show up with the lump in your throat. I love it, Dr. Duffy.
Yes, thank you. I was so afraid that I would say that fear was my middle name. I even was diagnosed with phobias at the age of 20. So I was officially very, very fearful. And when I changed my thinking, I went to therapy for the first time at the age of 20, and I was in an awful marriage. I had married very young at 18, and I had no marketable skills, and I really believed that that was my life was over. I couldn't leave this man because I couldn't be on my own. And so I had developed claustrophobia and agoraphobia. And then when my therapist said to me, there is a way out here, she didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. But the fact that I believed that, Elizabeth, within 3 weeks, all my phobic symptoms disappeared and never came back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yep.
I believe it with all of my heart. Absolutely. Yes. I was talking to somebody the other day who's gone from feeling anxiety all the time and then really a 10. He called it a 10. I was at a 10 and applying the tools that I'm enough, that I'm really okay and enough as I learn and go. He said, my anxiety is a 2 now. He said, I never thought it would be at a 2. And so I love that. Oh, our thoughts completely manifest in our bodies. And as you so well shared, Dr. Duffy, they will show up as phobias, as anxiety, as sickness. And when people heal, like you did there, just watching the phobias go away, watching anxiety lower, watching people's blood pressure lower, their heart rate get more back to normal. And it's really, we words are so powerful. What we tell ourselves is everything.
Yes.
Everything. Every word holds a vibration, and we're either fueling us, feeding us, or we're depleting our energy. So watch what you tell yourself, and be patient with yourself, graceful with yourself as you learn to shift from that doubting Dottie or Danny within to that believing Betty or Bobby within. Be graceful, but you can do it. You really can.
Be graceful, but you can do it, because you really can. And I'd like to add one more thing. We have just a couple of minutes, but the idea when you talk about be willing to believe new things about yourself, and I'm using the word expansive, and show up and take action and do it, and then we have to remember it, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Remember it.
Yes.
And that is the root of self-confidence. Simple memory. Because I used to, knowing how frightened I was and risk-averse I was, I would show up and I would do things, and whatever it was, by definition of Duffy doing it, was not enough, was not good enough. Mm-hmm. And so after struggling and taking risks and still feeling that I was in the same spot, I had that revelation. I have to really remember and take in all I have done and keep it with me, because I tell my clients, you have a leaky heart. You can't hold on to the love, or hold on to the self-love, hold on to yourself. So we want to live, as Brene Brown would say, of course, wholeheartedly. So my dear, on that note, this has been such an incredible interview for me. I don't usually reveal as much as I did in this show with you, but you bring that out in me, and very, very happy to meet you. And so just for everyone to know, I am interviewing Elizabeth Trinkaus, and her book is called Enough Already. Yes, you are. A step-by-step guide to crushing the myth that if you do just one more thing, you will finally be enough. No, I am enough right now. Many, many blessings, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. And this is Dr. Duffy Spencer saying goodbye for now, and wishing you great relationships.